What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. It's Wednesday. We're here, rocking the army tonight. So, how are you? I'm not too bad, so to speak. Oh, you guys, it's been a wild 2 days. But first, before we get into any of that, let's get into some business, shall we? If you're interested in any of the tools and materials that we're working with here on a nightly basis, Amazon link below in the description. Go check that out. A lot of cool stuff in there. Tools and materials, like I said, gear for streaming and photography, if you're into that. And then also bunch of stuff, a bunch of books for inspiration. Yeah? So, yeah, good stuff there. I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It just goes to help support what we do here. Also, too, if you are interested in copping one of these Mecha Army t-shirts, which I highly suggest that you do, man, go head over to www.childofmecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You will find the Mecha Army shirt and many more. You find the Mecha Decal insignia line. You'll find the Ace Pilot series. You'll find a bunch more stuff on there, including hats and other t-shirts, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff. So go check that out and stock up. And then if you're really interested in supporting what we do here, man, go hit up the Child of Mecha Patreon. A lot of fun stuff that we're doing over there. Giveaways, hangouts, all sorts of fun stuff. Exclusive posts, a lot more pictures than what hits the normal social media. And so yeah, so if you have the ability and the inclination to do so, man, it would be greatly appreciated. So head over to the Child of Mecha Patreon. And then, as always, if you're interested in kits, tools, paints, accessories, Mecha Decals, sheets 1, 2, and 3, soon to be 4, those are all in stock and shipping now. Right down yonder here at good old USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine folks down there will definitely have what you need. Oh, so if I look tired, I am tired. It's definitely been a crazy past couple days. Where to begin? Number one, this new workout program is kicking my ass. Number one. But I'm in the early stages, so I'm in the sore stage right now. Which, if you've ever worked out in your life, then you know when you start a new program, it's just like your muscles aren't used to that, and it just feels like shit, and everything just, it feels like it's gonna rip through your skin, and it just hurts all the time. That's me right now. My body hurts, but gotta power through it. Gotta get the body used to it, and once we get used to it, once I get a weekend or two, I'll be fine. I'll be in good shape. Oh man, but so that's like the overwhelming thing right now, and the one thing especially, since my body is so sore, it's telling me to go to sleep. Go to sleep. It's like that scene out of the reboot of Lampoon's Vacation, right, where the kid puts the plastic bag over the other kid's head, and he's like, "Go to sleep, go to sleep." That's my body right now. Literally got a plastic bag over my head, choking me out, saying, "Go to sleep." And that has been the predominant factor over the last 2 days. That and just, yeah, it's just, whew. It's like whenever I get even an ounce of motivation or energy or even free time, it's just like, just like that. So yeah, so it's been a little hectic and a little crazy the past couple days. And I'm the king of self-sabotage anyways, so I've got maybe a third of the GM Quel parts primed. I was hoping to have everything primed and in base color by tonight. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So I'll show you some of the parts. When I've said in the past, working on this Quel, that this is a practice build, and getting the primer down on some of these parts, it definitely shows. And I'll show you what I mean here when we pull the parts over and I show you, because there's definite spots that I need to fix on some of these parts, right? It's noticeable. Let's put it that way. Noticeable. So it just is what it is. It's still fine-tuning the skill set and getting everything kind of back into back into gear, you know? So it's just one of those things. But for the most part, the parts look really, really good. I love the primer stage because that shows everything. Nothing can hide when you lay down primer. Nothing. And excuse me. Like I said, that it definitely showed some things, but it also showed a lot of good things. Like how clean some of the scribing was, and how clean some of the the add-ons, some of the plating and stuff like that, was. So I am both pleased and disappointed at the same time. If you can, I guess if you get that, I don't know. But it is what it is. Now, one thing that I'm noticing here, I don't think anyone right now is on Twitch, because it shows me offline on Twitch itself, but it shows me online on Twitch through the chat program, which is weird, right? I know I'm online on YouTube, and I know I'm online on Facebook. So, good to go there. But Twitch is like, I don't know. Twitch is being weird, I guess, right now. I don't know why. But anyway, if you are watching on Twitch, shout out. I don't think that you are, because I don't think there's anybody there. I don't even think the stream is there right now. So, is what it is, right? Oh man. Whew. Sam L, he says, started training strongman last week. I'm sore as well, dude. Yeah, lifting heavy objects, right? Oh man. See, Gumbel Uruguay, Mr. Javier says, I pulled a muscle on my lower back today. I know how that feels. Ooh, yeah, dude, that's not good. That's not good. He says, now my back is killing me. Damn, I'm getting old. Damn. Says, was doing some shoulder routines, doing military press, and I felt that pull on my back. At first it didn't hurt, but oh boy, when I woke up after the gym. Oh yeah, I don't think you necessarily might have pulled it, because you probably would have felt that right away, but you definitely strained it. There's no doubt about that. You definitely strained it. And Javier, do you brace your back up against, a pad? Like, a bench or something? Or do you just, like, sit there and just... Michael Dawson says, yeah, your stream doesn't show on Twitch. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that then. Oh, well. Screw it. Yeah, so with military press... Oh, standing? I'm not a fan of standing military press. Sit down on a bench with a back on it, just slightly with a very, very slight incline, and bang it out that way. So much safer. So much safer. There's so much wrong, so much bad things that can happen when you're standing upright and trying to press weight over your head, you know? Just, it's just not for me. No, sir. No, sir. I've always done it seated anyways. So, anyway, you didn't come here to hear workout tips and stuff like that. Sam L says, I only do standing overhead press. Well, I mean, because you're doing, like, strongman shit, you know? So you gotta do that, like, with that, what was it, the log thing? You gotta, you know? That, I don't know what it's called. But yeah. George says he's just gonna stick to lifting coffee mugs. Hey. Anyway. So yeah, been a hell of a 2 days. Bit of good news though. Bit of good news. For those of you that don't know, and I think most people know, I'm going through a divorce, right? We got, or I should say I got the court date. The final end all be all court date, July 13th. I'll be a free man. Yes, sir. July 13th. Can't wait. Can't wait. It'll be fun. Cannot wait. So, boy, you can definitely tell it's a Wednesday. Everybody's just out of it. Everybody's just like, fuck it. It's fucking Wednesday. I'm done. Is it Friday yet? You know? Oh, man. But it is what it is. So, I don't know. If you guys saw the Instagram story, mixed up the two paint colors, the primary and secondary. That's what the Quells should look like. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go get some Quell parts and take a look at these things. So, stay right here. Julie says, as one door closes, another one opens. Yeah, no doubt. Or a million doors open. Hey. Yo, I can't wait. I can't wait until all this shit's done. It'll be awesome. Anyway, let me go get some parts. I'll be right back. Y'all talk amongst yourselves, okay? Okay, I'll be back. Oh, god damn it, I'm sore. Woo! Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Very nice. Okay, cool. Alright, all these are dry. Looking good. Yep. Looking very, very nice. Looking nice. Almost done, you guys. Hang tight. Good stuff incoming. I promise. But then again, I also promise to have this in base color. So, don't listen to my promises, people. Lesson number 1. Alright, two more parts. And then we're in good shape. Boom. Boom. Okay. Oh. Damn, I'm sore. Shit. I'm in my... Yeah, thank you, Bill. Listen to his promises, just don't count on them. Yeah, well. Um, you guys, I'm at the therapist today, and I'm sitting there, and she sees Amber first, and then she calls me back, and I go to get up, and I'm just like, oh, I feel like an old man. Oh, so sore. Anyway, let's get some stuff out of the way so we can take a look at some parts and stuff. I should be wearing gloves while I handle these, so let me put the gloves on real quick, because I don't want to touch these with my bare hands, you know? Not right now. Not right now. Some of them are going to have to be, because, you know, like I said, there's definitely some spots that I need to fix. So it is what it is. All right. Brandon's with us. He says, "Evening all. What I've missed so far? Just me generally complaining about being sore. That's about it. All right. So camera 2. Here we go. So this is the breadth of parts that I've gotten done thus far, right? So it is what it is. You know, I'm not gonna make two bones about it. I just whatever. You know, just whatever. But there is some good stuff going on in here, and if you give me a second here and get the field monitor going. No shit. There we go. Menu and boom, and get it inverted. Okay, there we go. All right, so bunch of good looking stuff going on here, right? And like I said, the one good thing that the primer definitely shows is you know, the good stuff, right? Like that, the scribing is very, very crisp there, and it just pops. Even the lines on the sides and everything, that just looks really, really good. The two little pieces of plastic strip there all blends very nicely together, and just overall just a very, very clean look, right? So that's looking good. One part that I'm pretty happy with is the insert on the shield, right? I mean, look at that. Look how clean all those lines look. And it's very, very, very smooth, which is really, really good. And there's not a speck of dust in this primer at all. There's a little bit, you know, getting on there after the fact, but, you know, we'll tackle that. But one thing that I noticed on this piece, you can see it right there. I must have blown past the line, and you can see that little overscribe right there, right up here in the corner, right? So that's one of the things that obviously is going to need to be fixed. So, you know, it is what it is. But the best of both worlds on this piece, because you can see how just really, really nice and clean all the scribing is, and how the primer just makes that pop out and look really, really good, right? So very happy with that, actually. And obviously, you know, prime the inside of your parts, guys. It's not a lot of material, and it's going to save you a lot of headache in the long run. Just saying. So looks good there. One of the other parts that I was really happy with how it came out was the back of the lower leg, you know, where we did the vents and everything. So that looks really, really quite nice. Scribing looks all very, very clean there. And if you remembered, when we laid down, focus, there we go. When we laid down these two teeny tiny little strips here over this this particular line, You know, we used Plastic Magic, and it just kind of flooded and got everywhere. But it's the awesome part about Plastic Magic is it's so thin that you don't have to worry about sanding that, you know, that stuff that, you know, goes up or goes out. You know, I'm so tired I can't even think of words. The overflow stuff, it's so thin you don't even have to clean that up. You just prime over it, and it just hides it, and it looks really, really good. But I do see there's a little bit of a nub that I missed right here on the side, and I know it's a little hard to see. Maybe you can see it right there, a little discoloration right here on this upper part. But I'll get to that and fix that and make that look good. Back of the back skirt and everything, that looks really nice and tight, nice and clean. Scribing looks really good. Up and down, all the notches and everything. Yeah. That looks really, really quite nice. Very happy with how that came out. There is a little, you know, again, a little nub that I missed right there. Just a little divot. Come back in, fill that with some super glue, reprime it. Good to go. So, Thomas Staten says, Plastic Magic. Yes, Plastic Magic. It's this stuff right here by Deluxe Materials. This is the solvent glue that I use. I don't use Tamiya Extra Thin a whole lot. I use this because this is excellent. This is, I think, personally, I think way better than Tamiya Extra Thin, because not only does it bond styrene, it also bonds ABS. And ABS2 styrene, and then other plastics, other glues cannot. So when it says that, things like acrylic and stuff and all that. So this, like the name suggests, is magic. So get you a bottle of this. You know, keep your Tamiya Extra Thin, because it's still a good product, and I still do use that sometimes when I need a little bit of a hotter solution, you know, a little bit more melting. But for the most part, I use Plastic Magic, you know, the majority of the time. So that's the good stuff. That's the good. This is the secret sauce. So really, really, really good stuff. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at some other stuff. Like here's the front of the foot. And again, man, Plastic Magic is so good because this little raised detail right here, I glued on with Plastic Magic, and there was a ton of overflow and stuff like that, like all over the place. But, and I know it's hard to see on camera, but there's nothing in way of raised edges or anything like that, or just anything for that matter. It just looks really, really good. So very happy with that. I think for the most part this foot is good. It may be the other one that yeah, I'm thinking it's the other one that had a little funkiness to it. Let me see. Where's the other foot? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's in here. I primed the damn thing. Shit. Is that it? I don't know if this is the one we just saw. Oh no, this is the other one. Okay. Yeah, this is the other one. All right. So yeah, so along here, I don't know. You might be able to see the little slight shadows. There's a little bit of a dent there and a little bit of a dent there. I think just from nubs and stuff like that. So I'll get to that and fix it and fill it with super glue, sand it down, prime it back. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, but this is, you know, again, looking pretty good. Oh, now that I notice, there's a little bit of fill-in on some of these notches on the top here that I might have to get. So yeah, I might have to go back with the chisels and rescribe into this before I reprime that. So, but yeah, so that's looking good there. One of the front skirts, nice and smooth, really good. Happy with it. Again, just a little hint of a nubby right there, and I know you can hardly see it on the screen, but right there at the tip of my thumb right here, there's just a little, you can see like the littlest of the shadow, and it's just a little itty bitty piece, and probably if I were to paint this, you'd probably never notice it, right? But still. So here's one of the calf armors. This came out really nice. I'm very happy with how these came out. Nice, nice and smooth. All things considered, the scribing around this came out really, really nice. I was kind of worried about it because it's so thin and so fine and delicate. But that came out really nice. The notches, the 4 notches around that came out really good, solid fidelity looking at that. Really quite happy with it. So yeah, that's looking really good, and all 4 of them kind of look the same quality there too, what's this? This is one of the front parts of the upper leg. Yeah, there's some nubby artifacts here and here that I'm gonna have to address, but for the most part, this is looking pretty good. Maybe a piece of dust in there, I don't know. I'll sand this whole thing back down and reprime this sucker. But the panel lines are looking really nice and crisp. A little bit of a fill in right there now that I notice it. Let me see what that might be. Yeah, no, that's primer filling in the. You can see it right there at the tip of my thumb. You can see just the tiniest little gap between the panel line, right? Right there. Right there. And let's see. I'm gonna reprime this piece anyway, so yeah. See, that's just a dust or artifact or something like that in there. But now, all good. That's all clear now. So, looking pretty good stuff. Looking pretty good stuff. Bill says, we'll talk to you all later. Been a long day. Have a great night. Bill, I know how you feel, brother. Take care. Tetchin says, Dremel it out. Yeah. George, I'm sure that'll come out real good, right? I'm sure that'll come out real good. All right, so here's the back of the head. This came out really nice. I was very happy with this. Just super clean. All the lines. Focus. Come on. There we go. All the lines came out really, really nice. Very happy with that. Real crisp, clean, everything. And then the front of the head again. Man, that came out real nice. If the camera would focus. There we go. All the panel lines there along the side and everything. Very, very striking and clean. And then when this gets painted and hit with panel lining liquid, man, this thing is just going to look really good. And there's kind of a poor man's mock-up of how it will look all together, right? That's going to be really, really nice. Really nice. all those lines are going to flow super cleanly. So, can't wait. Can't wait to get some actual paint on this, right? So, let's see here. Some successes here I wanted to show you that I'm actually particularly proud of was this one. This is the one of the forearm pieces of armor, right? And this one in particular, I screwed up, and instead of drilling and scraping this circular detail out up here, I did it down here first, right? So what I had to do was to fill that in with super glue. Obviously, I had to back that with a sheet of plastic and everything, but had to back that up, fill that with super glue, and then I put in one of these little round, just dome pieces from Kotobukiya. I inverted that and just kind of popped it in there, and it stuck with the super glue. Just filed and cut that down, sanded it down, and now you can't even see any sort of mistake at that point, which is really, really nice. And there's the its sister piece there. So that's all looking, I'm really quite pleased with this and how it turned out. So this will look really good. I'm very, very excited about this particular piece because I'm happy with the fill job that I did there and everything. So yeah, so again, just goes to show you guys, super glue, best filler in the world. Best filler in the world. This is obviously part of one of the shoulder pieces, and this one is actually a little on the rougher side. I'm not gonna lie, the surface right here needs to be kind of smooth sanded down and stuff like that. And I know it's hard to see, probably almost impossible to see on camera, but in person, I can definitely tell that there are some rough spots, especially over here. There's some actually filing marks that are right along this edge here. But overall, I mean, it's a good composition. It looks really good. Scribing's pretty neat. There's a little bit of a dip right there. You can see that little tiny hole right there at the tip of my finger. Just a teeny tiny little pinhole that I'll need to fill in with some super glue, sand down, reprime, all that good stuff. But again, not too bad. Not too bad. Here's the back of the upper leg. Scribing just pops, looking real good. This piece is pretty much good to go, so happy about that. So yeah, so looks good, looking good. Let's see here. I had the front part of the chest in here. Where'd it go? Here it is. All right. So funny bit about this is that if you remember, we had some photo etch parts on this, and you can kind of see them right here, right? Attach those, and on the other side there too. Attach those with super glue, and before I laid down the Mr. Surfacer, I hit both sides here with Mr. Metal Primer. And that's important because if you want your normal primer to stick to these photo etch parts, metal primer is definitely the way to go. So hit both of these sides with metal primer. That dried very, very quickly, and then sprayed Mr. Surfacer over top of that, and decent for the most part. There's a couple pieces of lint here and there. There's a little bit of a nub mark right here at the tip of my finger. You can see it, so I need to fill that in, make that look good. But for the most part, you know, there's the raised skull. That looks really clean and neat. I like that. The clarity and fidelity on this, you know, these photo etch parts is very, very nice. So overall, not too shabby, not too shabby. Pretty happy with that. That's looking pretty good. One of the things that I'm really happy with are the front part of the lower legs here. We put a lot of time and effort into these, especially with the plating up on the top of where the knee is. And this came out really quite nice. And it was funny, like on some of these pieces, they're... ooh, that's a little bit rough right there. That looks like maybe glue or something that I didn't sand down. Yeah, it's hard to tell on camera, but there's a little bit of a rough patch right there. So it's not a huge deal. I can sand that down, reprime it. It's good to go. But there were little pieces of lint, maybe one or two, that got onto the piece, and as the primer was still wet, I just kind of wiped those away, and you can see, you know, the little bits there, and I just, you know, basically sprayed over that, and it just flooded the area, and it was fine. It's perfectly fine. Goalie Zero, Mr. Carl, he says, had to come all the way to YouTube from Twitch to say, sup, you bitch. Quel's looking tasty. Thank you. Yeah, Carl, I don't know what's up with Twitch tonight, but for some reason it's not working. So, I don't know. But thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it. It's getting there. Like I've said so many times in the past, this is definitely a practice build. Definitely a practice build. So, yeah. But this is the corresponding piece. This is looking really, really quite nice. There's a couple places here and there that I'm probably going to have to wet sand down just to smooth it out. Mostly glue marks, maybe some errant sanding marks and filing and stuff like that. Ooh, there's some lint right in this piece here that I need to wet sand down. That's pretty rough right there. But, you know, again, for the most part, not too bad, not too shabby. Decently happy with all this. So, yeah, not bad, not bad. Upper part of the abdomen, this goes right up against the chest. This is the one, this is the piece that had the little kind of little details, the little support details in there. So those came out real nice and clean. So happy with that. But anyway, you guys, that's the GM Quel parts for right now. So that's all I got. It is what it is. Ugh. I'm just tired. Stupid tired. And that's weird. Oh, wait. Carl's something weird is going on with the streams and stuff tonight, because I see Carl Goalie Zero's comment on my chat app, but then I don't see it on the actual YouTube chat, right? Because it was right after Tetsugen's Dremel it out comment and right before Julius's question. So that's weird. Maybe it's my side? I don't know. But anyway, Carl, I see you, buddy. Yeah. Robert Cottrell's over there on Facebook. He says, hey, Tim, what's going on, Robert? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm mysterious like that. Hey. There he is. That showed up. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Julius has got a question.
We have a question.
Sorry. He says, If this was a GBWC build, would you strip the parts with the blemishes down to bare plastic and start over? No, no. Use the primer to your advantage, because, like I said, the primer shows everything. The bare plastic is a little bit tricky on the eye, especially with the differences in color, in plastics and stuff like that. So once you get everything to a singular color, and especially gray like that, it shows everything. Nothing can hide. Just, you know, use that to your advantage. So no, I would keep the primer on, and sand through the primer, fill what needs to be filled, and then go back, re-hit that area with with primer. In my opinion, there's no sense in wasting good material, the primer. No, I just spot prime what was needed, So for instance, let's actually fix one of these parts. I'm thinking that shoulder piece that needs to be sanded down. Yeah, this one right here. So since we're sanding this, I'm not afraid I'm not afraid to touch this with my bare hands. My bare hands are clean. I washed them right before the stream anyways, but still can't hurt to be a little too careful, right? So like I said, definitely some errant rough patches here. That little pinhole right there, those need to be fixed, right? Those need to be fixed. And I could probably use to wet sand this scribe line right here just to kind of knock that down, because there's definitely some raised edges that I missed on that. So yeah, I mean, let's work on this piece right now, and let's just get this back into shape, right? So let's see. Let's start with, that's a little too coarse for my taste. So we're going to start with this. This is probably about an 800 or so. And we're just sanding it down, just going to town. And another thing is that primer is going to be another layer of corrective material, meaning that it's basically, when you spray primer, like on a car body or something like that, it helps fill in little micro imperfections and stuff like that. Same thing with primer on a piece like this, so like I said, use the primer to your advantage. Let it do its job, and filling in a little bit, that's part of its job too. So that looks much better there on the surface, and I can just tell by the reflection, right? Okay, so but one thing that I want to do along the side here, because there's some errant filing marks, and taking a finer jeweler's file here, and just kind of just helping flatten this out here. Okay, that looks good there. And then just for safe measure, we'll take our 600 sanding block and just kind of work that. good. Yeah. And in some places, obviously, you're going to take it down to bare plastic. There's no getting around that, right? So, like with this part, you know, you just need to. You need to take it down to just the bare plastic. Just smoothing everything out, easing every little surface, just to make sure this is all nice and smoothed out, right? Yeah, and you can even see, and it might be tough, but you can even tell right along this edge where those little teeth marks are, right? And you can even feel it with your fingernail. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but just get in here and knock that down, and that's going to be a nice sharp corner once we get done with this. Okay. All right. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, let's kind of smooth this out. Okay. All right, this surface right here, that's looking pretty good. Very happy with this so far. Very nice. And then we'll do this corresponding surface here. And there we are. Yeah, you can even feel the sharpness of that corner now, right? It definitely matches the sharpness of the other corners. So very, very good stuff there. And that, my friends, is almost ready for repriming, but I wanted to get this panel line knocked down a little bit. Not bad. Okay. That pretty good. Pretty good. Not too bad. All right, so last thing to do is fix that little pinhole right there, right? Just a little itty bitty thing, just a teeny tiny little pinhole, right? So we get our eyes on, obviously. And just a little drop of super glue. Just like that. Like nothing even really all that crazy, right? And we're just gonna let that cure. But now with the glasses on here, I can definitely tell how much smoother the front part of this surface is. Little imperfection right there that I'm going to smooth down with the sanding block a little bit. I gotta be careful. I don't want to touch that little dot of super glue there, because it just will be wasted effort. I'm not really into that right now. Not into wasted effort, you guys. Not into wasted effort. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. All right. Kind of smooth that, polish that out a little bit here. And one thing to keep in mind is, like, there are diminishing returns on some parts. I don't, for this particular build, I wouldn't go crazy like this on all the parts, mainly because most of the parts that, most of the parts aren't going to matter, right? This particular one is going to be front and center for the viewer because this is the front of the shoulder. This is where the insignias are going, where decals are going. It's part of the initial presentation of a mobile suit, right? So, going a little OCD on the front of the shoulder, it's perfectly fine and honestly acceptable and kind of expected, in my opinion. Let's just get a little drop of accelerator on here. If it wants to come out here, that is. Uh-oh. Shit. So, it looks like my Instaset needle has filled. Okay. So for that, you may be thinking, oh, just get a small pin or a needle or something like that. No. Mini drill bits. Mini drill bits. These are perfect for that. Especially these 0.3 little bastards. And honestly, I'm not going to use the drill side, but what I will do shit, that's really clogged, isn't it? Huh, okay. Well, puts a damper on things, doesn't it? Oh, there it goes. There it goes. We got it. Surface. It was just a surface clog. All good. All right. So, pop that right on there. Let that work its little magic. Let's put these little drill bit back here. Now, while we're on it, we might as well start fixing some of the other parts, right? That we've got here. One of the big ones here, obviously, is the kind of sub part of the shield, the inner part. That just little bit of little overkill right there. Just, man, it's so tiny, but it's noticeable, right? It's noticeable. Ooh, and now that I'm looking at it, there's these little pinholes, 2 little pinholes right here on the surface of the shield that I'm seeing where I plated up. I filled in that pre-molded detail in there. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna hit that with some super glue as well. Let's get this. Let's get this a little sanded down now. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that should be good. Just like that. And let's see here. Let's just gonna get these smoothed down. Focus. There we go. Okay. There we go. Alright, so same thing over here on this little blowout piece. We're just going to get just the smallest little drop of super glue. Nothing crazy. And we're just going to work that in ever so gently into that blowout there, without getting the super glue into the panel line. There we go. Okay. There. Okay. So we're going to let that sit and marinate. Let's check back here on this part. Alright, that super glue is completely cured. Excellent. So, what we'll do, instead of taking our hobby knife to it, I'm actually gonna start by sanding it down. Because it's so small, right? It's such a small little fill-in of super glue. The last thing I want to do is pop that off of there and then just have to refill it, you know? Okay. This vertical side right here, looking really good. Very nice. And we'll hit the beveled side here with our file. And that should get us into shape very, very quickly. We're going to take the sanding block to it. All right, that's nicely filled in there. All right, so this piece right here is ready for reprime. Now, one thing that I would definitely do is run this underwater, just to clean out any of the dust and debris that we might have created, especially in this panel line and in these notches around here. And then also on this panel line right up along top here where we sanded. And also this little notch right here that we obviously sanded over top of, and you know, any of the corresponding sides and all that. But once you wash this of dust and debris and everything, this is ready to go. This is prime ready. So that part is ready to rock and roll. Let's take a look at this part here. See if our glue is set, and it looks, ooh, nope, that's not, shit. It's not set there. Okay, well, little bit of insta set there. We'll let that marinate a little bit. Let's take a look at some other parts here that I know we have to fix here, right? Oh man, I don't want to touch anything with my bare hands, not knowing what needs it, what doesn't, you know. George says Tim's got to get himself a 5-star story kit for SCGMC. I'm not into 5-star stories, man. It's just not my style. You know that, George. Shit. You've probably known that for years, man. But, alright. So, let's take a closer look at some of these. Not too bad. Okay. Okay. And I think this is the one that has the divots in it. Yeah, this is the one. All right, so we'll put this that front of the foot there aside. That gets hidden. These little marks get hidden by the rest of the foot, so I'm not going to worry about that. That looks good. Oof, okay. This one needs help. Yeah, this one needs help, so we'll set that aside. That one needs help. We'll set that aside. Like I said, guys, this definitely is a practice build, and it shows. A lot of these are not up to my quality standards, unfortunately. So kind of is what it is. All right, we'll need to work with the shield a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of fixing. A lot of fixing that we need to do. That one needs some help. Let's see. Yep, that needs help. All these damn parts need a little TLC, you know? The head actually looks good. On the back of the head, anyway. Yeah, front of the head looks good, too. Ooh, yep, that one needs work. Shoulder looks okay. Yeah, shoulder looks okay. Here's the other side of the shoulder piece. I could use some smoothing down. Ooh, but look at I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Focus. Right there, you can see that almost like a scratch right there. That's gonna need work. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's the one with the glue. That's the rough one. Okay, that's why. This piece, that piece looks perfect, actually. And the other lower leg, that looks pretty decent, actually. Nope, there's a scratch on it. Okay. Inner frame. That looks good. Here's the crotch piece. I wish the camera would stay focused. Focus, camera. God damn it. Ugh. Yeah. That needs to be fixed. Christ. I swear, primer, like I said, you can't hide anything in primer. Primer will show you all of your shortcomings, no matter what they are. In the world of modeling, primer is the great equalizer, I say. Okay, that looks good. These calf pieces came out a lot better than I had imagined that they would. I was worried initially about this perimeter scribe around these inserts and stuff, but man, those came out actually a lot cleaner than I had anticipated them to come out. Yeah, that needs to be fixed. So much here. So much practice build bullshit. Oh, yeah, that. Alright, so look right here. Oh, can you see it? Oh, there it is. You can see that blowout right there that I completely missed. And you can see that originated right from that corner. So I must have been scribing this and bloop, right out. So that needs to be fixed. Didn't even touch this part. This is original. One of the few parts that doesn't need anything. Alright. That looks good. Yeah. That looks good. That looks good too. Alright. Sweet. Alright. So, out of all the parts primed, all of these need work. All of these need work. So, we'll work on that for right now. Inspector Tim Day. Yeah, for real, Kenneth. For real, Kenneth. No, you gotta be. You gotta. And this is one of the things that a lot of people don't do. They don't acknowledge their shortcomings. They don't acknowledge their mistakes. If you can do that, you will be a much better scale modeler. Plain and simple. And like I said, primer does not love you. If anything, primer hates you. You are its forgotten child. I sound like fucking Tyler Durden over here. Primer hates you. Should put that on a t-shirt. Primer hates you. No, it seriously does, because if Primer was your friend and if Primer liked you, Primer would fill all these little fucking divots for me and be magical and shit. But no, instead, it exposes it and it fucking hates you. Primer hates you. So, If you're trying to front, and if you're trying to get by and just, call it in, Primer's like, no, buddy. No. We're not doing that today. No, I'm going to expose your ass and show it to the world. And that's what Primer does. Yeah. That's what Primer does. Pab says, even if it isn't a GBWC, this is the kind of detail people should aim for. 11 layers of primer minimum. Yeah, dude. Yeah, right? I don't know about 11 layers, but, 2 or 3 maybe. Excuse me. Kenneth says, Primer shows the truth. Yeah. Primer is not going to fuck around. Primer hates you. Cullen Barr's with us over there on YouTube. He says Primer is that one brutally honest friend who calls you out on your bullshit. Yeah, no, it really does. It really does. And mind you, you can obviously paint over this shit if you wanted to, but you're still gonna know it's there, and the primer's still gonna know it's there, and the paint's gonna remind you. So, that's it's not a good thing, right? Not a good thing. All right, let's check back in with this shield piece here. This is cured. Okay, cool. So, what we're going to do is we're going to actually knock this down with a little bit of a heavier grit sandpaper. What is this, like 600? I don't know. I cut it off, so I think this is like, I don't know. This might be 6, 8. Who fuck knows? I don't know. But this is what we're using. Screw it. And mind you, I mean, I could take a file to this. I could take the knife to this. I could listen to George, Mr. Tetsugen, and take the Dremel to this. But I'm not. I'm gonna play it safe and just gradually sand this down flat, right? And we just feather it in. Nice. All right. So obviously, we've taken that down to bare minimum, right? So we're gonna set that off to the side. Where's my damn it? Where's my good sandpaper? Son of a bitch. You can never find that nice, good piece of sandpaper that's like nice and worn down and everything. You can't find that when you really need it, right? We'll reach over here into the sandpaper bin, see what we can find here. Oh, let's see. Ooh, hey, here we go. Here's some good stuff. It's not too bad. Let's get all the big pieces out of here. Let's see. No. Ah, here we go. That's pretty good. All right, let's use this. Now, when sanding a part back down like this, try to alternate the direction that you sand, right? So before I was going across horizontally. Now, with this piece, I'm going vertically on the piece, right? There we are. Much better. Okay, cool. All right, so let's tackle that overflow there. Let's see. Kenneth says, still need to wet sand after. Absolutely. Yes, I would. I absolutely would and am going to. I just don't have a basin of water with me right now, or else I would be doing that. So the shoulder piece actually, I'm actually really quite happy with the finish of this, because like I said, I have this little piece of worn down sandpaper that I've honestly been using for ages, and it's super smooth right now. So I'm actually very quite happy with this finish. I mean, you can even see the highlights going on in that, where as opposed to this, you know, there's not much there. Well, maybe that one, but still. The fact of the matter remains is, yes, that I would still wet sand the parts that need to be reprimed 100%. Okay. Let's see here. Julius says, 11 layers. Chris, how do I get that many without the part looking like it's chocolate coated? It's delicious. No, and Pabs responded, you don't do 11 layers of primer. You do one layer, look for issues, sand down, reprime, rinse, repeat 11 times. And mind you, Pabs did that 11 times. You don't need to do it 11 times unless you're really bad at it, like Pabs is. 2 or 3 times, you usually get it. Sometimes you don't even need that many. Sometimes it's just one. Guy Dagogi's with us over there on YouTube. He says, primer is that irritating little bastard that will tattletale on you in front of everyone at the worst possible moment for those oh so awkward, embarrassing life moments. Yeah, basically that. Yeah. Kenneth says, 11 layers. Nothing beats that unnecessary 100 coat video, right? Colin Barr says, I have my new computer / build desk built. One step closer to getting on Tim and Friends. Hey. Julie says, oh, okay, that makes sense. Thanks. Dave B says, how about primer on resin? How would you go about repairing resin? Baby powder and resin? I mean, resin's the same way. Resin's the same exact thing. So you have a divot or something like that, fill it with super glue, same exact stuff, same exact process. It's just, you know, you're basically, if you've ever worked on a car or seen car, you know, programs or something like that, you know, like, what is it? You know, the ones on like Discovery Channel and shit, you know, the Monkey Garage or whatever it's called. You know, they show sanding and planing down, you know, the primer and everything. It's the same process for scale modeling, same exact thing. We just take it down and fill it back in and build it back up, prime it. It's good to go. If not, we rinse and repeat just like Pabs does 11 fucking times. He says, oh, I'm terrible. I give bad advice. I never said you gave bad advice, Pabs. I just said you were bad at priming. Sorry. Pabs says, same method, Dave. Yeah. Guy says, nah, Pabs, you always give great advice, bub. For the most part. Dave B says, cool. There you go. Good deal. All right, let's get back on this the shield piece here, because we're getting it, and you can see, and this is, you know, this is to be expected, that that piece right here, that you know, right around where we filled in, that's gonna sand down last, obviously, because that's higher, right? You know, height wise. So we just need to keep working until that is the same color plastic throughout, right? And that's what I mean, Julius, is, you know, like I said before, let the primer work with you. Even though it hates you, let it work for you. And there we go. And that, my friends, is perfectly filled in. Excellent. Like Monty Burns. Excellent. All right. So we'll just go back over this. And just feather all this in. And like I said, this this step right here, this error checking, this, in my opinion, is what sets modelers apart. Because a lot of these guys that are just getting into it, or don't nearly care as much as we do about the quality of their build, will just be like, paint over it, right? I'll weather it. I'll call it battle damage or some shit, right? No. No, 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 no. No, boo-boo. That's not how this works, right? That's not how any of this works. We need to take the time to error check. And that's what this is doing, right? That's what this is. This is error checking. We wash this down. Get all the dust and debris out of this thing. You'll be in good shape. You'll be in good shape. Pab says, I prime good. I do it 11 times. LOL. Miguel's with us. He says, Pabs is obviously sponsored by Mr. Surfacer, just trying to push product, right? Pabs says, I don't even use Mr. Surfacer primarily. Miguel says, you ain't fooling nobody. Evo, whatever. Pabs says, Evo Surfacer all day, my fave. What makes it different, Pabs? Tell us and educate us. Guy says, all I want to know is if Pabs can get a couple of bottles of leveling thinner on the down low to me with that partnership. Hey, right? Pabs says, you'll have to talk to my supplier. His name is Mike Wine. Yeah. I just ran out of one bottle today. I mean, mind you, it only had like that much in it. And just enough to thin the paints and to thin my jar of Mr. Surfacer. But yeah, I used the rest of that, and luckily I have like 6 more bottles. So I'm good. Shit's liquid gold, you guys. I'm not fucking around with it. Ain't happening. Oh. Just all across here is so fucking sore. Oh. And it just feels like it's just gonna rip. My skin is just gonna rip apart. Ugh. Hate this feeling. Anyway, back to it. Let's get something good. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so we got some pretty gnarly nub marks right along here. And a piece of lint right there, but that doesn't matter because that'll sand off while we're sanding the super glue down. And it looks like there's a pinhole right there. Okay, this is a great example for you guys. Okay, So check this out. So come along here with the sanding block, and we know the sanding block is flat, right? So by the pattern that it leaves, you can see kind of where your low points are, right? And now, mind you, there's a slight curve to this part, very, very slight. So you can see where we're, hitting that, and as we gradually move up and down this piece. But you can see right here, see all that gray primer right here? And here, watch, I'm gonna take off the rest of the other bits, and you can still see right there. See that little mark? That's the primer saying, you done fucked up, boy. Right there. That's a nub mark. Now, luckily for us, that's so minuscule, we might be able to sand that down. Yeah, and we just did. So that's good. That's good to go. We don't need to do anything else to fill that in, fix that, etc. That's good to go. Yeah, good deal. Now, these guys over here, I'm pretty damn sure we're not going to be able to get that lucky, unfortunately. But let's see what we've got here, right? You never know. I mean, you never know. You never know. We could come out on top. We could strike lucky and see. But I don't think we're going to. No, that's clearly not going to happen. We can do all the sanding in the world, and it'll sooner misshapen the part than fix what we need to fix. One of them filled in, or one of them sanded down, but the other one I don't think is going to cooperate. Actually, it's not bad. We might get lucky on this. I don't know. Okay. Nah, there's still a little dip there. So we're gonna fill that in. Gonna fill that in. Alright, and we'll put this off to the side and let that cure. Right there. Alright, let's see. Mike Skyer says, sexy primed parts. No, dude, Mike, these parts that you see here on the table, these aren't the sexy ones. These are the ugly ones. These are the ugly babies. These are the ones that need work. These here, these are the few parts that are, in my opinion, good to go. All of these need some sort of surface work. So, yeah, they're not that sexy. Pab says, coverage on Evo is really nice. I've found it to be smoother than Mr. Surfacer 1200. It does well with micro surface fixes, and the price isn't that much higher for the amount you get. He says it's also very tough. Since I've started using Evo, I haven't had a lick of peel. I mean, I hope so. Miguel says, how does it compare to Mr. Surfacer 1500? Guy says, Tim, get you a glass of pineapple juice and a couple 2500 B12. You'll thank me later. Dude, actually, I take I take a multivitamin every day. So trust me, I'll be good. Pab says, very comparable, Miguel. It's honestly been a good all-around surfacer. Miguel says, good to know. Yeah, Well, the one thing that I think I actually don't use 1200. This is all 1000, Mr. Surfacer 1000. I like Mr. Surfacer 1000 because of the finishes that I do. I don't do high gloss. I don't do anything like that. I do gritty, flat, looking mobile suits, right? Your airdrop-esque style of finishes. So the way that I want my finishes to come out, Mr. Surfacer 1000 works for me, right? Not saying it's gonna be the perfect thing for everybody, but that's what works for me. So, yeah, I mean, and plus I can get it. I have a bunch of bottles and everything anyway. So, what are you gonna do? Mike Skyers has a question for us.
We have a question.
He says, after all your colors have been painted, do you gloss coat them, assemble, or do some assembly and gloss coat? No. Okay, so that's a great question, and it's basically a workflow question. What I'll do is keep everything separate. Everything. I don't assemble a damn thing until final assembly. And that's when everything is said and done, down to final clear coat. So what you see here, these will stay in individual pieces like this, and for the entire workflow of the painting process. And they will never be married up until the very, very final step when everything is ready to go. So no, I will get all my paint colors down, secondaries, tertiaries, accents, etc. And then what I'll do is I'll do a gloss coat then, and I will then do panel lines. I like to do panel lines first. I just feel that it's easier. And then I'll do decals after that, because if any decals go across panel lines, you can quickly cut them. Lay down decal softener to lay into those panel lines, and you're good to go at that point. And then I will spot clear coat or spot gloss the decals just to protect them, and basically to feather the edges. Even though water slide decals have very, very thin edges to begin with, you can't ever be too safe, right? So I'll do just a spot gloss on the decals and stuff like that, just to feather those out and smooth the surface again. And then if I want to do any weathering or something like that, then that's when I do it. Yes, kids, I weather on a gloss surface. I know, blasphemy. But the way that I do things, especially with the Tamiya weathering powders and stuff like that, I feel they go down a lot smoother on a gloss surface. There's more tonal degradation. There's just more. There's just a more subtle, a more subtle feel to them, in my opinion, when you're laying it on a gloss. That's what I did. That's what I did with airdrop, and you can kind of see how that looks, very, very subtle and graduated across the weathering on that. I mean, if you want to call it weathering, that is. And then after that, then it's my final clear coat, which is usually a semi-gloss. Then it's final assembly. You put everything together very, very gingerly. So hopefully that helps, Mike. Pab says, I like to do a gloss coat just before panel line and decals, gloss coat after, then a final matte coat. Yeah, I mean, Pabs kind of does the same thing that I do. Julie says, does Mr. Surfacer 1500 have a smoother finish compared to Mr. Surfacer 1000. Yes, Julius. Think of it. Think of the numbers as grits of sandpaper. So the higher you go, the smoother it is, right? So Mr. Surfacer 500, that's going to be the most rough and gritty. 1000 is going to be obviously a much, much higher step up, but still not as smooth as, say, your 1200 and your 1500. So, like I said, for what I do, for the way that I paint, I use 1000. It's just my preferred surfacer. Mikkel says, do you ever sand down your decals, Tim? No, I try not to. I don't want to even risk sandpaper coming into contact with decals. I would much rather apply decal solvent to the edges and stuff like that to get those to, lay down a little bit more than sandpaper and all that, because that's just in my opinion, you're just asking for trouble. Where decal solvent's just so much easier and more foolproof in my opinion. So Kenneth has got some questions.
We have a question.
He says, regarding color planning, how much percentage do you plan an entire kit, like 70% green, 20% dark green, 10% gray, etc.? Nothing that, I guess, regimented, Kenneth. I will look at, traditional color schemes. Say you look at like, GMs and stuff like that. I'll look at those traditional, more traditional color schemes, and look at some of the MSV versions, some of the unit colors and stuff like that, and you'll kind of understand the color placement that is somewhat expected. So say for like airdrop, right? And obviously for the Quel too, because the Quel is going to have a similar color placement. Not color palette, color placement. So, your parts like your upper arms, your upper legs, those tend to be a lighter color. Your midriff, your torso, like your torso armor and stuff like that. Those tend to be lighter colors in general across the board. And then your more prominent parts, your shoulders, your chest, forearms, lower legs and knees and stuff like that, those tend to be your more primary color, your skirt armor and stuff like that. Sometimes the head color can be kind of 50-50. It can go primary, it can go secondary, right? On airdrop, I made it the secondary color. I didn't want it to be red. I wanted it to be white, right? Now for the Quel, I think I'm going to go primary color. For the primary, it's going to be this green color. So I think I'm going to go green on the head. But I'm still kind of weighing my options at this point. So color placement, you want to use references, in my opinion, based on canon and everything. So that's kind of what I go for, but nothing is regimented as a percentage. It's just more for me. It's just kind of feel, you get a feel for it. So, Pab says to Julius, yes, consider 1500 your final finishing primer before paint. Plastic Peon Workshop is with us. Sup, everyone? What's going on, dude? Julius says, thanks, Pabs. Did you see that Kenneth spelled color correctly? Hey. Peter Fulford's with us over there on YouTube. He says, would you surfacers in order, say, apply 1000 then 1500, or use just the surfacer you want to end up with? So this is kind of my take on that 1500, and I have Mr. Surfacer 1500. I tried using that straight on plastic, and it didn't really have the grip, say, of a 1200 or 1000, right? It was a lot more like paint, so it scratched off very, very easily. But now, mind you, that was my experience. It could be different from from what others do, but in my opinion, if I was gonna go high gloss, I'd probably go 1000 or 1200. Wet sand that entirely, wet sand everything nice and smooth. Apply your 1500, and then go into paint, and you have a nice smooth foundation to start with. So, let's see. Guy says to Pete Fulford, he says, it depends. I use a lower number to prep for final priming and fixing issues found. Some use 1200 and 1500 exclusively, and that's it, but generally go higher as a final. Yeah, and Guy basically, would do a similar thing that I would do, right? Mind you, I haven't done a high gloss coat in I don't know how many years, but still, if I was to do it, there would be a lot more steps involved than just prime fix, prime fix, prime fix, prime paint. You know, like I said, there would be wet sanding involved at almost every step of the way. There would be multiple layers of gloss. Wet sanding and polishing down every single one until you get just an immaculate high gloss finish. It's very, very intensive, right? Get over here, old man. There's it's over there. I'm not gonna get it. But there, what's his name? Zach from Galactic Toys sent me the Madworks polishing set, right? And these are 3 sponge brushes that you basically just put in, like a Dremel or a rotary tool or whatever, and this basically becomes your polishing. And there's obviously, to this, there are 3 levels of this polishing sponge. The green is somewhat coarse, the yellow is much finer, and then the black one over here, or the very, very dark gray, is much, much finer, right? And these correspond obviously with the levels of polishing compound. Actually, let me go get them here. They're right over here. I just don't want to get up right now because I'm so damn sore. Oh God. Ouch. Fuck. Oh. Okay. Whew. Anyway. Oh. Oh. So sore. Oh. Pab says that gray isn't dark enough. Make it darker, right? You fucker. So here's the Madworks, the polishing compound, right? And I haven't even opened this. I'm sorry, Zach, if you're watching this. But you've got the red here, which I believe is coarse. This is the coarse polishing compound. And mind you, coarse is not, when it means coarse, it's still very fine, right? And then you have the fine, and then you have the super fine in green, right? And this even comes with, some polishing, cloths and stuff like that. But you can use these in unison to, the polishing wheel set and everything. And like I said, these are by Madworks, and Zach Bleich was kind enough to send these to me a year or 2 ago. Something like that. I'm sorry, Zach. I just never got around to using them. Yeah, there would be a lot of that. There would be a lot of wet sanding, just a lot of intensive work. So that's that's something that, you know, is to be expected when you do a high gloss kit. Yeah. Kenneth says we need to convince Tim to do a bling bling kit. A bling bling kit. Come on, man. Guy says, Tim, on the back of the compound bag there was a order of use by color. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think it's common sense. I mean, the red is the coarse, the yellow is the fine, the green is the super fine, right? So I don't think anybody would, you know, jump to super fine and then back to coarse and then use the fine. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, but maybe people are dumber than I think. But yeah, no, that's the, you know, you got the order, you know, order of operations on there and everything. And obviously, you know, you even have, you know, your color-coded cloths here, because there's a pink one for the red, there's a yellow one for the yellow, and then there's obviously a green one for the green. So that kind of does help too. And then obviously, you know, these are color-coded in the same way, but you can definitely tell the you know, I mean, look at that, the open cells in this particular sponge as compared to a much finer sponge, and then you get down to almost a cloth wheel at that point. So yeah, I mean, and use these, if you use these in a rotary tool, get one of these like these little battery powered, like these little Tack Life mini Dremels, these little guys, because you don't want to put those in a Dremel going 5,000 RPM minimum. That's just, you're going to burn through everything, and then you're just going to be like, fuck, right? Get one of these that have a lower RPM, and trust me, you will be much happier in the long run. Charles Dodge is with us over there on YouTube. He says, they are, Tim, they are. Just look at the text rep asking the Forestry Service if they could alter the moon's orbit to combat climate change. Wow, yeah. Yeah, people are dumb. The human stupidity level never ceases to amaze. It does not. A very good point, Charles. Very good point, my friend. All right. It's 11:58. Let's finish up this this leg piece here, because I believe that should be, yeah, that's cured. All right. So let's get this boy sanded here. Come on, boy. As my daughter would say. Amber's fucking funny, I swear. Alright. Sanding block on flat, smooth surfaces does wonders, you guys. If you don't have a sanding block, make one. I swear to you. You will absolutely love them. And if you don't have the inclination to make them, you can buy them from you know, different places. There's a bunch of companies that have that make sanding blocks. I know Madworks makes them. I think Dispay makes them. You know, you got your Razor, whatever, that makes you know, sanding blocks and stuff like that. But yeah, see, that looks really, really nice and smooth. That's gonna work real nicely. Both sides now are perfectly flat and aligned. That's a good job there. Done deal. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Don't say Japanesey. It's not what we say anymore. If you've seen Army of the Dead, that fucking movie was great. But he is Japanese. So good. Guy says, well, I mean, a lawsuit led to warning contents, hot labels on coffee cups. So, to quote Bill Engvall, here's your sign. Yeah. It's like the same. It's the same reason why we have a don't don't drink bleach warnings on bleach. Like, why would you drink that? Ugh. I can't even stand the smell of bleach. What would lead someone to want? Anyway, that's a fuck it. Anyway, Kenneth says carbon fiber sanding blocks worth it. Yeah, I mean, whatever floats your boat, Kenneth. You know, carbon fiber. I don't know. For me, is kind of like a novelty. They're light, obviously. Very rigid, but so is MDF at a quarter inch block. And once you get super glue down on all surfaces, man, this thing is like a rock solid piece of material. And you can get, obviously, you can see the reflectivity in there, so you can get this like stupid smooth too. So I don't know, I like my little MDF sanding blocks because I can make them to whatever size I want and put whatever grit I want on there as well. So if you don't want to buy them, that's an option. That's the fucking piece of sandpaper I was looking for earlier. Son of a bitch. Makes me mad. Right at the end. Anyway. I digress. Do I have something in my teeth? No. Okay, I'm good. Sorry. Charles Dodge says, to be fair, it wasn't just about the coffee being hot. Many fast food places in the early 80s kept their coffee at second, third degree burn levels hot. Yeah. So yeah, there's it's hot, then there's injury hot. Yeah, I mean that too. I don't know. People are just stupid creatures altogether. It is what it is. Anyway, Julie says, I made a sanding block out of quarter-inch acrylic scraps from Tap Plastics for $1. Dude, I wish I had a Tap Plastics around here. You don't know how lucky you are to have one of those around you, Julius. It's like it's like having an IKEA around you, decent, cheap furniture, right? Cheap plastic. Oh my God. Like, I wish I had a Tap Plastics around here. There's nothing around me. Sucks. I drive an hour easy, but still. But yeah, acrylic is great too. In fact, what is it? Hobby Mate? Is it Hobby Mate? Yeah, Hobby Mate. These were the first sanding blocks that I used. And you can kind of see, boom, right there, Hobby Mate. And they actually labeled these, and I've replaced the sandpaper I don't know how many times. The double-sided tape is starting to fail, and then I made my own. But quarter-inch acrylic is the same thickness as my MDF. This acrylic is much thinner than that. This is probably half that, so maybe 1/8 of an inch, right? Oh, I'm not even on camera too. Son of a bitch. Sorry. But here's the yeah, I know, Pabs. Kenneth, thank you. Christ. Anyway, my bad. This is the Hobby Mate. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, boom, right there. Hobby Mate sanding blocks that I had and that I was telling you about earlier before I switched cameras. And you can see the sandpaper is coming up. The double-sided tape is starting to fail. All that. So, but there's flex to this, which I don't like. So that's why I mainly stopped using those, and that's why I started using the MDF, because there's no flex to it, and I'm really putting some energy into this. There's no flex to this once you get this stuff sealed up. Let's see. There's that, and so here's just a normal piece, just a normal, you know, blank that I cut here, and you can see the grain is open and exposed and everything. And this is, you know, it's just MDF, medium density fiberboard, which, you know, to begin with is extremely stable, which is great. And then, you know, you just apply, you know, a layer of super glue on all sides, right? And this is one we did when we got this stuff, this liquid, super thin, you know, 1 to 2 second cure time super glue that I really don't like. But we coated it with this, and this is basically, you know, your next step. And then, you know, you sand it down, you round off the corners so you're not, you know, for comfort and all that. Apply double-sided tape, apply your sandpaper. I just, you know, marked the grid on the back there. And yeah, these things are great. So if you want to learn to make one of these, obviously check out chowdermecha.com. I have an entire tutorial article on how to make one. So, but yeah, if you're lucky enough to, like Julius, to have a Tap Plastics around, go hit that up because that's so much easier. So, let's see. Guy says Tommy Lee Jones said it best in Men in Black: a person can be smart, but people as a whole are stupid and ignorant. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Just big dumb animals, folks. Like Tommy Boy. He's just a big dumb animal. Love that. Classic. It's classic. Anyway. Alright, you guys. That's going to do it for us. I'm going to continue priming and fixing and then hopefully painting these parts. I don't know if we're going to... I don't know what we're going to do on Friday. But I'm gonna try my best to get these things moved along into paint. So, Calvin Branham says Kilroy was here and now he's gone. Later, Gators. Nice, exactly. But anyway, we'll be back here on Friday, and we will carry on and do the thing. And like I said, hopefully this stuff will be into paint by then. We'll see. I'm not making any promises because obviously now that I see the parts in primer, there's a lot to fix. And knowing that I only have 1/3 of the parts primed so far, I'm a little scared to see what comes next. So we'll see. We will see. Anyway, you guys, if you're interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with here tonight, man, check out the Amazon link below in the description. I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It just goes to help out the stream. A lot of cool stuff in there. Tools and materials, gear for photography and streaming, books for inspiration, all sorts of cool stuff in there. Constantly adding stuff. Check it out. Go load up. Prime Day is coming up too. Keep that in mind. Prime Day. Hey, if you want to rock one of these Mecha Army shirts and rep the Army, go hit up www.chowdermecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find the Mecha Army shirts and hats and many more things like the Mecha Decals Insignia line, the Ace Pilot series, other shirts, hats, prints of my work, stuff like that. Go load up on that stuff too. But if you really want to show your support for what we do here, man, go hit up the Chowder Mecha Patreon. A lot of cool stuff over there. Giveaways, hangouts, exclusive posts. A lot more pictures and stuff like that show up on there than they do on regular social media. So if you have the ability and an inclination to do so, man, show support for what we do. And as always, if you're interested in kits, tools, paints, accessories, Mecha Decals, sheets 1, 2, and 3, and soon to be 4, available right down here at USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine crew down there will definitely have what you need. So with that being said, I will see you guys on Friday. Be safe out there. Have a great, enjoyable Thursday. Have fun and just build something cool. Prime your shit. Primer hates you. Always remember that, kids. Primer hates you. See you Friday.